Hey everybody, Todd here. Welcome back to another Wellness Talks Brief. What is mindfulness and how can this concept, this practice, be utilized in helping to self-regulate? That is, to help you to manage your emotional self-regulation. This is a question I often get in session when working with new patients. When I introduce the different concepts of mindfulness and what is mindfulness and what are some of the benefits of utilizing mindfulness. A question that I often get from those that I work with is, why do I need this, Todd? This doesn't seem to be doing anything. And the other thing that's usually not said is, this is difficult, weird, annoying, and yes, it can be all of those things. Difficult, weird, and annoying. Yet it's your mind. And so really what mindfulness is offering you is probably best summed up this way. Your mind is like a dog on a leash. And I'm sure you've seen this. You've been out for a walk and you'll see somebody and they have a dog and the dog is just running all over the place. And the dog runs around your legs and it causes them to get all tangled up. Kind of sounds like your mind, right? The other thing about that dog is that every once in a while it may actually go out and nip somebody on the leg or on their ankle or get in front of somebody when they're running, and it just disrupts everything around them. And once again, it's that dog just running all over the place. So in a way, that's your mind. That's how your mind operates. Mindfulness then would be if that dog was trained. If you took the time to actually teach the dog, here's what we have to do. This is how you get rewarded. This is how we will interact better with others that we might come in contact with. So you can kind of think of that as a dog. It's also been referred to as a monkey, a chattering monkey, just constantly yakking at you. Now keep in mind, it's not really your fault. Like, you're not the one running out in front of somebody. You're not the one that's actually getting tangled up. But in a way, it's your mind, so it is your responsibility. And so how do we take more time to deal with that component? And that's where mindfulness comes into play. Mindfulness practices will help with emotional dysregulation. They will help in being able to diffuse, to notice that you're actually subject to, or it's almost like a lens that you're wearing. Noticing that you have the lens and taking it off and going, oh wow, this is what I typically do, isn't it? And being able to look back over time and see that this is what's happening. Another important feature to mindfulness is actually teaching you how to notice a very, very subtle change. So I would imagine even as you've been watching me in this video, you've had a thought or two where you've jumped outside and you're absorbed by this thought and you're not paying as much attention to what it is that I'm talking about. Actually, you might have missed it completely. Luckily for you, the video, you can back it up. But in everyday life, we can't quite do that. So what mindfulness allows us is if we begin to notice a thought, a sensation, a feeling, a desire, and we become aware that those things are out there and that we tend to jump into that thought, into that sensation, and view the world through that, we're fused to it. And it's difficult for us. And when that happens, we typically fall into automatic response patterns. So in other words, the mindfulness component allows us to begin to train the mind, the observing mind, the witnessing mind, to notice when the thinking mind has jumped in and dropped a memory, a personal experience, and we are now in it. That subtle shift. Another simple way to think about it is training mindfulness allows us to notice when we've jumped tracks and we're not even aware that we've done so. It allows us to be aware, oh, I've just jumped. I was thinking about this when I should be worried. I was worried this is the thing that's actually most important right now. So when people get frustrated with mindfulness, one of the things that you should keep in mind is that it's completely okay for you to find yourself a minute, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 12 minutes later wrapped up in a memory or a have to do or the what if patterns would show up for all of us. That's completely normal. So don't, actually, you have an opportunity right there in that moment to notice, oh, I'm really frustrated. And you could be curious about that. Notice it for a moment, let it go, and then go back to whatever mindfulness exercise you've been working on. The mindfulness exercise might be to just stick with the thing that you've noticed. Oh, this does tend to come up. I'm actually going to sit with this frustration of not being able to get something done, of not being very good at it, at being a failure, whatever this might be. And just be curious about it without judgment. Total curiosity, as if you've never seen it before in your life. Other mindfulness exercises will have you paying attention to the breath as it goes in and out of the tip of your nose. It'll have you paying attention to things that you see. It'll have you pay attention to things that you hear. Sometimes it's a simple mantra. Sometimes it's an actual body scan where I'm feeling for tightness in the shoulders and in my neck or in my hands or my fingers or wherever. It'll have you move around. It's a body scan exercise. But regardless of whatever type of mindfulness activity you begin to play with, whether it's more a meditative practice or if it's simply paying attention to all the little details of a cup of coffee first thing every morning. In doing this, you then begin to strengthen a life skill, which will allow you to then pull away from and simply notice those hard and difficult times when emotions get the best of you, thoughts rule, automatic behaviors tend to occur. This is the relationship between mindfulness and emotional regulation. Now, if you're interested in a few videos to help you get a start with this, I've got them linked below. I've also got a few articles you can read more about it. Now, some of the videos I have linked below are simply just audio, so you could just listen to them and follow along. They're just guided mindfulness practices or mindfulness meditation practices. And then the videos themselves, I'm not talking, so if that's what makes you happy, go ahead and check those out as well. What I've done is I've just put some nice prompts into there. I have a nice picture or video running in the background, and then simple prompts will come up and they will give you an exercise of what to do. I've tried to keep those, some of them are 4 minutes, some of them are 7 minutes, and I think maybe one of them is 10 minutes, but they're all linked down below here. And of course, they've been passing it by up here. And of course, if you like this video and it's useful for you, or you have a question, please comment below, and be sure to subscribe and to like. And I hope to catch you soon on the next Wellness Talks Brief.